What up?
Hi.
So a friend, somebody asked me on Instagram, bring the weed stories. Now I don't have weed stories, so I asked all my friends through a text message to bring the noise, right? And I was like crying a river. I was like, nobody's texting me back. No one gives a fuck. But then a couple weeks after I put the word out, I got a text that was like, are you ready for my weed story? And I was like, yes. Okay. Now, this friend who texted me, she is not vegan, so don't lose your shit if you hear some non-vegan references, or click off to protect your soul. Okay. So here's, she sent me 2 stories. She's like, okay, I've got 2, so bear with me. First one, I decided to try to make my own weed butter, and getting into edibles about a year ago, I find this is in quotations, recipe online. It calls for a ½ ounce of weed per 2 sticks of butter. I'm like, how about an entire ounce of weed per 3 sticks of butter? So it's a very laborious task. Huge pain in the ass, right? I get this done, and it's fucking kryptonite green. So I make my husband a piece of toast and slather this shit on. Slather a ton of this shit on. About an hour goes by, and I'm like, man, I don't feel shit. And then, of course, it comes down hard on both of us. And, look, I've been getting stoned for 15 years regularly, and I was fucked up. My husband, who's been smoking for about 2 years sporadically, is almost on an acid trip. He's like, oh my god, I'm going to be the first person to overdose on marijuana. He's like, oh man, the room is spinning. Please just make it stop. He proceeds to puke his guts out, all while I'm laughing uncontrollably because I'm so goddamn stoned. Poor hubby, but he didn't die, so it's fine. And then I say, wow, I'm laughing out loud, and there's like 50 emojis of me crying and laughing. And then she's like, all right, next one coming soon. And then like 50,000 hours later, maybe she was getting high, I get this other text that says, okay, story 2. Oh, I think this is the next day. Okay, continue. So I got rip-roaring stoned and headed off to the grocery store. This is so silly. So I got rip-roaring stoned and headed off to the grocery store. No makeup, hair wild, sweatpants, t-shirt, eyes bloodshot. They're having this badass sale at Kroger where if you buy 10 of this item, you get a huge discount. So I put Hostess snack cakes in my kids' lunches every day, and they just happen to have Hostess snack cakes as part of the sale. So I got 10 boxes of Ding Dongs, Twinkies, Ho-Hos stacked up my chest, and I turn around to see my fucking boss. I'm like, oh, hey, Mario, blah, blah, blah. And I get this uncontrollable urge to crack up laughing. So he's talking and saying, he's talking, and I'm saying my ABCs in my head, clenching my butt cheeks, trying to keep it together. I make it out of the exchange, but the next day at work, he told a friend of mine at work, make sure she's okay. She looked like she was gonna cry when I saw her at the grocery store. And she said, that happened like 2 years ago, and I still get embarrassed when I think about it. Oh well. Dude, I was crying. This was hilarious. There's your weed stories. Peace.